Coming up on News Live at 6, mass shootings in the age of technology. Our Citrus TV reporter Sarah Rizzo breaks down the complications of a world connected by social media.
And it's been more than 24 hours since the Mueller report was released. Citrus TV analyst Gabrielle Caracciolo is in studio to break down what politicians are saying.
Plus, protesters in England because of the deadline for Brexit. Our very own Ali Heath is in London to break down the why people are marching. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Many social media platforms are facing criticism for allowing violent content after the recent New Zealand mass shooting. Good evening, I'm Drew Carter.
And I'm Sabrina Majori. Social media outlets are struggling to find out how to fix the issue. Citrus TV reporter Sarah Rizzo spoke with social media experts on how to handle this growing problem.
Clearly in New Zealand, there was nobody at home at Facebook paying attention for 17 minutes while this shooting was going on.
The recent New Zealand mosque shootings that left 50 people dead were streamed over Facebook Live. Facebook didn't remove the video until almost a half hour after the video started. The video was then uploaded to other sites such as YouTube and Reddit. Communication specialist Mark Bialzak says society has to cope with the ups and downs of social media.
Social media has its, pluses, and obviously, as we found out with that terrible tragedy, its minuses, and it's just something that society evolves and deals with.
Just by looking at the homepage of YouTube, there is no violent content visible. Even if you go into the live streams, there's live stream gaming, animals, sports, technology. But just because you can't see the violent content doesn't mean it's not there.
Professor Lee McKnight says there are two things Facebook needs to work on in order to stop this content from being uploaded.
They've hired, I think, over 10,000 human monitors of their site to start paying attention to what users are uploading. They need to focus on artificial intelligence and automated tools.
McKnight says social media platforms are trying to eradicate this violent content, but it's a long way away from solving the problem. Sarah Rizzo, Citrus TV News.
Social media sites have recently been facing other problems as well, including Facebook and Instagram having platform outages a few days before the New Zealand shooting.
New details tonight as a 14-year-old in Clay is suffering from minor burns after gunpowder exploded outside his home yesterday. According to a sheriff's spokesperson, the teen threw a bucket containing gunpowder from old shotgun rounds into the snow, and while the bucket was in the air, the powder exploded and burned the boy. The bomb squad and investigators visited his home shortly after someone called 911. They left his residence at 7 p.m., a few hours after the call. An Onondaga County probation officer had sexual relations with a second man she supervised. 46-year-old Bridget Dewar had already pleaded guilty in October to misconduct after a first man revealed similar allegations. Dewar revealed the new details as part of a plea deal. She resigned as probation officer last September.
New details on the M&T Bank robbery that took place last Friday. The Syracuse Police Department has issued a warrant for this man, Robert Conforti, who walked up to the teller and presented a note demanding money. Conforti later turned himself into the Fairfield, New Jersey Police Department and turned in the leftover money from the robbery. He's currently being held in New Jersey as he awaits extradition proceedings. And a Niagara Falls woman has pleaded guilty in a debt fraud ring that brought in over $3 million. 40-year-old Shaniqua Rodriguez based the scheme in Western New York. The operation included threatening people over the phone to get consumers to pay debts, many of which have already been fulfilled. Rodriguez faces up to 20 years in prison.
Right now, a tough time to be in prison because the weather is actually warming up finally.
Extremely nice outside. We have our Citrus TV weather anchor, Tony Bianco, in studio to tell us more.
Thanks, guys. Right now, it's 33 degrees outside with clear skies, and it's been sunny all day long. I know I was spending some time out on the quad earlier, and I spoke to SU students today to get their reactions to the nicer weather that we've been seeing.
I don't think I realized how much the winter weather was affecting my mood. And I just remember that first spring, first moment of spring weather.
It was very nice, very refreshing to be able to go outside and not have to put on a coat and just kind of relax. So I just feel like everyone's happier too with the sun out.
Yeah, I like to sit on the quad like I'm doing today with my friends, or on the promenade. Just enjoy the nice weather, get the sun, the vitamin D.
My friends and I, we have this porch on our house, and it's just we have a bunch of furniture, and it's really nice to hang out there. But we haven't been able to do it much, so now that we can, be a lot more fun.
Being inside all winter, it's nice to just get out and not have to be stuck inside, but probably throwing a baseball around, that's probably my favorite thing to do.
And just like those SU students, I'm also super excited for spring weather, and you're going to be needing a lot more of these, and I'll have more on that in my full weather forecast.
All right, Tony, good stuff. Can't wait for that. Coming up after the break, the death toll continues to rise by the hundreds in Mozambique.
And Israel and Hamas have been exchanging rocket fire across their border today. Find out whether or not the tension might have come to a ceasefire.
I-81. Its lifespan ended more than 2 years ago, and with time running out, there is no concrete plan. These are the crossroads splitting the city and the region. The community grid.
To save my city and my neighborhood and my kids' lives.
Replacing the viaduct.
Commercial businesses which want to be located alongside a highway.
And building a tunnel.
We really need to rebuild the fabric of this city.
Businesses, residents, and money. The issue gets more complex as time runs out. But Citrus TV News has you covered. Our 7-part series will break down the most important aspects of the decision. Starting Monday, April 1st, we will be tackling the biggest decision facing Central New York.
Maybe he's really focused.
Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom? That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. Mueller's investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 U.S. election is over. And while the report has not been released in full, the Attorney General released a summary yesterday. Citrus TV political analyst Gabrielle Caracciolo is in studio to break down what the reaction has been like over the last 24 hours.
Thanks, guys. That's right. Yesterday, Attorney General William Barr released a 4-page summary of the main takeaways from the Mueller investigation. It says in part that the investigation did not find evidence of collusion, Mueller did not interview the president, and that while the report does not conclude that the president obstructed justice, it also does not fully exonerate him. Reactions from politicians across the country have been mixed in the wake of Attorney General William Barr's release of a summary of the Mueller report. On one hand, President Trump and Republicans who had been critical of Mueller praised the report's findings.
This was an illegal takedown that failed.
I think the Mueller investigation went on far too long.
This is a good thing for America, that they found that absolutely no American citizen, including the president, including everyone on his team, had anything to do with interfering in the election in 2016. But across the aisle, Democrats are skeptical, calling for a release of the full report.
The fact that we have a 4-page summary written by the person that was handpicked by Donald Trump to write it in a way that it was as favorable as possible by him.
The American public deserves transparency and accountability, and the Mueller report must be made public.
And just hours ago, New York Republican Representative John Katko joined some of those Democrats in calling for disclosure of as much of the Mueller report as legally possible. And guys, despite this investigation being closed, moving forward, we are not likely to see this topic go away anytime soon. It has already started to become a major talking point among 2020 presidential hopefuls.
All right, thanks, Gabrielle. We'll keep an eye on that. Egypt has brokered a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. This comes after Israel started bombing Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip, including what they claim to be a main Hamas facility.
The bombings came in response to a long-range missile fired from Gaza that hit a house north of Tel Aviv. The bomb was the farthest rocket into Israel since 2014.
A visit to the White House was cut short this morning. President Donald Trump hosted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House, but Netanyahu had to leave early because of the missile attacks.
Before the Prime Minister's departure, Trump formally recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights, a region seized by Israel from Syria in 1967. Syria says this move makes the U.S. government, quote, the main enemy of Arabs.
The despicable attack this morning demonstrates the significant security challenges that Israel faces every single day. And today I am taking historic action to promote Israel's ability to defend itself and really to have a very powerful, very strong national security, which they're entitled to have.
Officials say the death toll for Cyclone Idai has risen to 750 people. Nearly 2 weeks ago, the Category 2 storm brought huge rains and submerged villages in southern Africa.
Cyclone debris, uprooted trees, and toppled streetlights are just part of the damage caused by the storm. Officials say increased cases of cholera and malaria infections have been reported, likely a result of the severe flooding. The government is setting up treatment centers in affected areas.
And 134 people were killed and 55 others were wounded in an attack on a village in the African country of Mali. The attack comes in the midst of ethnic tensions between the Dogon and Fulani groups.
The president of Mali announced that a Dogon hunting group associated with the attack has been banned.
The British Parliament has spent the last 2 years negotiating a deal for Brexit, and their deadline is soon approaching.
Citrus TV's Ali Heath was in London this weekend where Brits gathered for the Put It to the People march.
The streets of London are filled today with an estimated 1 million people who have come out to demand a second referendum on Brexit. They're joined here in front of Parliament today with 8 members of Parliament who say that when the 2016 referendum came around, the people weren't informed. They didn't know what exactly Brexit and the process of leaving the European Union would mean for the British people. Now that they say they have more information, Theresa May's current deal isn't good enough for them.
The outcome is a grave threat to the security and health of this country. I think we have huge problems we need to tackle collectively, and the European Union, for all its flaws, is a vital part of that process. It has democratic deficits, but the democratic deficits are worse in the United Kingdom, in my view.
It's just so clear that the mood of the population has changed, so it was a very narrow vote to vote for leave. And since then, the government has made such a mess of it that everybody that I know and all the polls are saying that we need to think again and ask the people again if they still want to do this. I mean, we've got 3 or 4 weeks really to save the country, to save the economy and to save our reputation internationally.
Theresa May has been given a little bit more leeway to get a deal done by the European Union. They've pushed back her deadline from this upcoming Friday to April 12th to get Parliament to pass the current deal that the EU and May have decided upon. If that doesn't happen, it'll be a hard Brexit on April 12th. But if May can get it done and Parliament passes the current deal, Britain will leave the EU at the end of May. Reporting from London, I'm Ali Heath, Citrus TV News.
All right, thanks, Allie. From all the way across the pond. And after the break, Citrus TV weather anchor Tony Bianco will have your full weather forecast.
Let's hope this spring sun will stay. Stay tuned.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail.
Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Citrus TV. We're here with our wonderful weather anchor, Tony Bianco.
Tony, we all wore our shades today. Can we expect the sun to stick around?
Yeah, we actually can expect the sun to stick around for a few days this week. Unfortunately, later in the week, not so much. But for right now, I'm super excited to be wearing these. I don't know about you, but my Ray-Bans are my go-to once the weather gets nicer.
Weird flex.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we're going to have to put them away as the sun goes down tonight, and we're going to be seeing that those temperatures are going to drop down into the 20s overnight. And as we head into tomorrow morning, about 21 degrees at 6 a.m. when you wake up in the morning. And as you're walking to class, still in those low 20s, but we will be seeing little to no precipitation for the entire day. So you're just going to be seeing sunny skies all day long. So our outdoor activity outlook for Tuesday is moderate because despite the fact that we will be seeing sun all day long, it's still pretty cold. A high of 36 isn't that great. But here in Syracuse, I'm sure that I'm going to be seeing people out on the quad soaking up as much sun as possible before we head into the later half of the week because we will be seeing rain, unfortunately. I can't promise sun all week, guys. But Wednesday, there is going to be a high of 50 degrees. So if there's any day to break out the shorts, that would be the day in my opinion. And Saturday is National Take a Walk in the Park Day, but I'm pretty sure that Saturday's not going to be the day to do it. As you can see, a lot of rain on Saturday. I suggest Wednesday as the better day for that. So if anybody wants to join me for a walk in the park on Wednesday, I think that's when I'm going to take a nice walk and go outside and hang out with my friends on the quad. Maybe not the park because there's not too many places around here that I would consider a park, but I think that I will be outside enjoying that sunlight on Wednesday. Guys, back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you. And Michael Avenatti has been charged with extortion, wire fraud, and bank fraud in relation to a case with Nike. An FBI wiretapping found that Avenatti met with representatives of Nike. He threatened to hold a press conference, which would accuse Nike of involvement in the NCAA basketball bribery scandal unless Nike made multi-million-dollar payments to Avenatti's account. Almost immediately, Nike notified the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, who along with attorneys in California is pursuing legal action. If convicted, Avenatti could face up to 50 years in prison.
Apple is entering the field of streaming. Apple today hosted a major press event at their headquarters in Cupertino, California. The new streaming service called Apple TV Plus is designed to go up against the giants of the industry such as Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime Video. Apple TV Plus will feature original content from directors including Steven Spielberg and J.J. Abrams and actors including Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, and Steve Carell. That's my personal favorite. The event also included a new credit card, news platform, and gaming service.
The Ryman family, which owns a controlling interest in Jab Holding, a company that owns Krispy Kreme, Panera Bread, and Keurig, among other food companies, has uncovered a dark secret about its past. Ryman ancestors Albert Ryman Sr. and Albert Ryman Jr. were Nazi supporters and used prisoners of war from France and Russia as slave labor during the war. The Ryman family and Jab Holdings conducted an internal investigation and expect to publish a book with their full findings next year.
The women's basketball team packing the Dome tonight with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. Plus a miraculous comeback yesterday at CNS High School. And not everyone loves Syracuse, in case you didn't know that by now. All that in sports after the break.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go.
Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Basketball season is not over yet in Central New York. Welcome back to sports. I'm Zach Allen. The Cuse women are one win away from reaching their second Sweet 16 in just 4 years. Our own AJ Fabry is inside the Dome ahead of the Orange matchup with the 6th seed South Dakota State Jackrabbits. Now, AJ, what should we be watching for tonight?
Zach, if you're a fan of explosive offense, then you're going to love tonight's matchup. Both of these teams coming in tonight, top 20 in the country in scoring. Both of these teams hovering right around that 80 points per game margin. That's because both teams' main ball handlers. For Syracuse, it's Tiana Monacahia. Everybody knows about her. The first team All-ACC selection. She almost had a triple-double in Syracuse's first-round victory over Fordham with 21 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. And then on the other side, you have Macy Miller. She's the two-time Summit League Player of the Year, and in their first round victory over Quinnipiac, she had 28 points and 11 boards. So two prolific ball handlers on both of these squads. And like I said, this is going to be a fantastic matchup. This Syracuse team highly motivated after not making it out of the first weekend the last 2 years. They're looking to get back to that Sweet 16 track, and the winner of this one earns a berth against number 2 Oregon out in Portland. Should be a fun one. Be sure to follow along for in-game updates and post-game coverage at Armin_Todd for updates throughout.
Thank you, AJ. That game tips off at 7 o'clock in the Carrier Dome, and you can watch it right on ESPN. The top-ranked defense, the second overall team in the country, and a beautiful day for some outdoor lacrosse. The Orange hosting the Blue Devils yesterday at Cicero, North Syracuse, as the Dome is occupied by the women's tournament right now. But Cuse found themselves down 4 goals late in the fourth quarter yet again. So they're looking for their third straight 4-goal comeback. And then we're going to roll to the tape because Nate Solomon, found right here on the GLE, he sacrifices the body on the man-up 8-5 Duke. And then we find David Lipka brings it to within 1, 8-7 Duke, 90 seconds left. Stephen Rafis, one-timer, tie ball game, to overtime we go. And then we see Brendan Curry finds his man, not moving his feet. Are you not entertained? Down goes Duke, 9-8 the final. Curry was 0 for 11 on his shots leading up to the game winner, but that cold streak did not deter the sophomore midfielder.
The team has just told me to keep shooting, just keeping the confidence up. I mean, yeah, it did get tough towards the end. I was like, come on. But, yeah, Nate found me and luckily buried it. We just weren't really canning our shots. And then, obviously, when they started falling, it kind of came to us and we were able to get the comeback going.
SU is outscoring their opponents 20-6 in the fourth quarter of their last 3 games. Up next, a matchup in South Bend with 12th-ranked Notre Dame on Saturday. And the SU women met their own 8th-ranked Notre Dame yesterday at CBA here in Syracuse. The 4th-ranked Orange had a big battle ahead of them as they were trailing 8-5 at the half. But Emily Harris-Chuck took over. She racked up 4 goals, making it 8 straight games, putting that many in the back of the net. And junior goalie Asa Goldstock was electric in the second half as well, making 11 saves as Cuse hands Notre Dame its first loss of the year with a 10-9 victory. Afterwards, head coach Gary Gate was very impressed by junior keeper Asa Goldstock.
She had a great game. You know, anytime you're above 500, but she made timely saves. That second half, she shut the door when they needed a goal or had a goal to extend the lead, and she made the stops. And proud of what Asa did today and how she played, and we just need her to keep playing like that.
Up next, Albany comes to the Carrier Dome Wednesday at 6. And spring is in the air, and that means we are very close to seeing the Syracuse Mets in action for the first time ever. But the New York Mets are planning to travel to Syracuse for one practice in the Carrier Dome soon, which has star pitcher Noah Syndergaard quite upset. He said, quote, "I'm sure the amenities in Syracuse aren't the best for a Major League Baseball team." The amount of travel ahead has Syndergaard upset as well, but when asked if he was excited to visit Central New York, he responded, "Not even in the slightest bit." Although sometimes, guys, I'm not sure if I like being in Syracuse.
Well, I mean, I was about to say, Zach, that's totally fair, but I feel like you've got to be from Syracuse, or at least have lived in Syracuse, to have the license to say that. I mean, people have got to be pretty annoyed about that in Syracuse.
After 4 years of having 6 months of cold in Syracuse, I finally appreciate it.
Yes.
But so I get where he's coming from.
Sure.
And Zach, how's your bracket doing?
My bracket is completely busted. I had Syracuse in the Final Four. I still have Duke in. I got really scared yesterday. I thought they were going to fall to UCF. That was a great game. Got some great games ahead of us, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think Duke should have actually lost, but, you know.
I think so, too. I would have loved to have seen Duke lose.
It would have been nice. Taco fell, though. Taco did fall.
He did. He did.
That's all right. Thank you, Zach. All right, so coming up on Citrus TV News, the world's best teacher won how much money, Sabrina?
I don't know, Drew, but you can tell us after the break. Stay tuned.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Welcome back. We have breaking news here on Citrus TV. Members of Parliament are defying the government with a vote on an amendment. This amendment gives Parliament the ability to control the agenda and hold votes on Brexit alternatives.
Parliament members say that because the country is close to leaving the European Union, Parliament should have the ability to seek an alternative direction. Lawmakers will vote on as many as 7 different options.
All right, so make sure you're following us on Citrus TV News. We'll keep you updated on that. But a teacher in Kenya has won a very prestigious award. Peter Tabichi has won $1 million for his outstanding work in a Pwani village in Africa. Tabichi gives more than 3/4 of his paycheck to his students who are orphans or come from families with drug abuse.
He also donates to school for uniforms and books. Tabichi says he plans to donate all of the money from the award to promote the cause of science. This is a great story.
Yeah.
I love hearing these stories.
There's good in the world, guys.
He's a good man.
There's a lot of
faith in humanity.
There's a lot of good in the world. I mean, that's one of the best people, I think, on the face of the earth. But I think you've got a good pun, Zach, about this story.
Can you imagine having a teacher like that? I would love it. Are you kidding me?
You're rolling in dough.
Seriously.
That'd be awesome. I'd rather have that than an A any day. Give me a wad of cash and an F. I'm cool with that.
Sounds good to me.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Citrus TV News. For the latest information, I'm Drew Carter.
And I'm Sabrina Majori. Have a great night, Syracuse.